Honestly, like I said, I try to go all French, but we're too expensive. I'm sorry, Matthias. I'm sorry, Ellie. I try to get you all, but like you guys too expensive, too bougie.
Maybe I was the reason you didn't play so well
No,
in those two
no,
games. I'm sorry for that if I jinxed you.
keep picking me because I I'm a pretty decent basketball player, you know.
Welcome to the 10th episode of the EuroLeague Fantasy Challenge Podcast for the season. I am Frankie Sachs, and with me is my co-host Vasiliki, but we're missing Javi and Theo. So we went and got somebody who, if you take them and Javi combined, they have one Olympic medal. Vasiliki, please introduce our guest.
Hello, Frankie, and hello, Isaia. Isaia Cordinier is with us from Bologna. Thank you so much for joining us today. Isaia, how do you feel?
I'm good. Hello to everybody. Thank you for having me here.
So as Frankie said, great summer for you, an Olympic medal with the French national team. You have been smashing it this year. What has elevated your game the past couple of seasons?
I think always like the work, the work that you put in. Build your trust, build your confidence through the years and the seasons. I did this with experience, and good environment to develop your game. That's all those things combined. You can always improve.
You're one of the best all-around players right now in the league. In fact, there's only 3 players. You're one of them who's averaging at least 10 points, 4 rebounds, and 4 assists.
I mean, I've always been like the strength of my game. Being impacting the game so much different ways, both sides of the floor, defensively, offensively. I just try to do anything that I can to help the team win.
France is having some great success this year in EuroLeague. Like Paris is the newcomers, but they're at the top of the standings, having a great season. Like you have Monaco, you have as well many French players. You try to build your fantasy team going all France. What is so special? What has been done so good? And where do you see like French basketball taking from here?
I think French basketball had success more through individuals the last couple of years. I think after Americans, we have the most players, both EuroLeague and NBA. But we can see this season that the local league and like the way the French club perform in the EuroLeague is getting better year by year. And this season is like the confirmation and we're on the right path.
Shortly, by the time this is announced, we will have announced that PJ Shorts is the MVP for the month of November, and you just played against him in Paris last week. Can I just ask your impressions of him after playing him last week?
First of all, is very congrats to him, if I say him, but it's well-deserved. The way he plays, with the confidence that he plays, the rhythm that the team plays, he give the rhythm, he give the pace, and he can get buckets when he need it, pass the balls. Is playing at a very, very high level right now.
So, what about Virtus? Like last year, you started the season pretty well, but it didn't end like you wanted. This season, you have some struggles at the beginning. Can we see a turnaround soon?
I mean, we're looking for it. And we work a lot to make it happen. We have obviously the record and the ranking is not good, but we had a lot of close losses. So that we gotta keep faith and the work that we put in and the effort, the fighting spirit. I think it will at some point it will help us to flip the season around.
So before we dive into fantasy questions and things that maybe you can help us build better teams, I need to ask you though, who is the player that you hate to guard the most in the EuroLeague?
I don't know if I hate guarding somebody because I take pride in it. But let's say this duo from Paris is very, very special. They're tricky, they're chain of pace and rhythm. TJ Short's very small, so I guess small guards is a different way to approach. And Nadir is so unpredictable, iffy. He's so unpredictable. So Though this duo is something else.
So, flowers to Predrag Panic. He scored 244.50 credits, like an unbelievable sum. So, yeah, congratulations to him. You still have the time to join our private league. So, don't miss out this opportunity and get credits if you are at the top of the standings each round. Another double round ahead. Isaia, confident that Virtus can get 2 home wins, and how much of importance it is to play 2 home games in a double round week?
I think for us it's a good opportunity, you know, with our ranking and with the strength we have this season. You know, have a double week, both game at home. It can be very, very, very important for us.
You're one of 5 teams this week. It's also Maccabi, Partizan, Milan, and Monaco who are not traveling this week. When I look to build my fantasy roster, thinking ahead to the next round, the Thursday and Friday games, is that a big advantage for players who didn't have to travel?
Yes, especially with double weeks. You know, we're playing so many games right now this season. Then the anytime you can rest and take care of your body more than the others is very, very important. Plus, obviously, the fans. You know, we have one of the best fan bases in all over Europe. They deserve wins, so that's very important. We're gonna move to our original arena. So I hope it can help, you know, our vibe and you know, to feel home for real since the first time of the season.
The fans need to hear that and remember to load up on those 5 teams for round 14.
Yeah, that's why I will tell you beforehand, before we go and see our teams, that I got Luca Banchi as my head coach this week. So I'm praying for big wins for Virtus.
Let me also ask you another former teammate of yours on the French national team, Theo Maledon, who so far this season has been absolutely killing it. He's, I believe, third among all guards in fantasy scoring, behind only TJ Shorts and Campazzo, ahead of a lot of superstars. Are you surprised at how well he's done in this first full season back in the league? And do you think he can continue it? Should we be investing all the capital, 15 credits in a player like Maledon right now?
I mean, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. Theo always had been like super talented. From all the summers, you know, we were back in the national team. He shows every time that he was at the level, you know. I feel like he just needed like to get the right opportunity after, you know, being in NBA. He had to adjust a couple of first games, which is normal. You know, EuroLeague is such a special league at a very, very high level. But now he shows out, and I don't see him slow down. So yeah, you should invest.
Van Fournier didn't need time to adjust. He has been killing it since he joined Olympiacos. Did you expect this move, and had you have the chance to talk to him about EuroLeague?
He loves it, you know. I feel like he was looking for a new challenge, you know. He's super competitive, so I think that's the type of thing he needed. Super historic team, you know, atmosphere. He has been smart the way to approach the season. You know, new system, new compared to what he knew with the NBA the last 13 years. It's super different, especially in the system like Coach Barstow has, when it's a lot of movement, a lot of passing game, very different from the NBA. And you know, he has been super smart, I think, you know, to just let the game come to him, and now he shows out too.
There's 4 centers who are fantasy relevant right now in the EuroLeague from France. There's Lassor, there's Mustafa Fall, there's Poirier, and there's Joffrey Laverne, all at different prices. Are those also players that you believe will continue to have big roles? And I've struggled to have centers that I trust on my team. This week I have one of those. I won't say who, but are those players we can trust? And who do you like the most of those 4 from a fantasy perspective?
For me, favorite one, Matthias Lesson, of course, from best 5 men in the league.
But most expensive also. So
yeah. But you gotta make choice, you know. he's the most productive too. Like he gets you points no matter what. Because of his motor, his energy, he will always be productive. All of us are very expensive too in fantasy, I feel like. So that's why I struggle too to make my own friendship today.
So Isaia, why don't you take us through the team that you built for this week?
Yeah, of course, of course. First of all, it's my very first time playing, so I demand like understanding from everybody, please. So as a center, I had Mustafa Fall. I feel like it's a good choice, very solid, very solid big. Will always give you something. And my both forward are Shengelia and Kalaitzakis. Obviously, Toko has been great for us with two games at home. I hope he gonna perform. And my two girls are Funia and the Colo, very experienced. I feel like I'm not taking any risk. And actually the Colo is my Nando is my T1 captain. And then for the bench, I pick myself. I feel like I do a great 6 man. And Strazel, I took Matthew. Always, he's off the bench in real life, so he knows his role. That's perfect. And I took Petrusev, which is very hot right now. I feel like he's gonna be, he's gonna continue. And then Procida, which is I would say he's my joker because he's super talented and he can get in on the streak. So I feel like he's a good moment. And for the last set, I have Diouf, my teammate, which is a good big. He always give he's all 100%. So I'm not scared. And as a head coach, I'm like you, Basiliki. I have my own coach, Luca Banki. Let's say 2 game home. We're looking for those 2 wins.
Pretty solid team, I'd say, for a very first time for a rookie, if we can call you that, because you're definitely not a rookie in real life. But I will get you into the starting lineup. You're not a 6 man.
Like, it's okay. Honestly, like I said, I try to go all French, but we're too expensive. I'm sorry, Matthias. I'm sorry, Ellie. I try to get you all, but like you guys too expensive, too bougie.
I'm sure they will understand. They will show some understanding. Yeah. So Frankie, can you reveal your secret strategy, and maybe me and Javi, who's not here, try to steal a good idea from you?
All right, so I will start with who I departed this week. It was Bosniakovic from Partizan, who had those 2 games where he had quite a role in Athens. Got a couple did not play, so it was only 4 credits, but I decided to get rid of him. Roman Sorkin, mostly because Winnie Gabriel is back and Rutero is back, and there's more guys playing at the big positions for Maccabi, so Sorkin's role is going down a little bit. Malte Delau from Alba Berlin, who I didn't want to get out, but sometimes you just have to make some moves. And Milutinov from Biakos, because I needed money to make the rest of my moves. Now, before I explain the rest of the moves, I have to say that last week, just like I did some research to see where our fantasy points coming from, I saw that, and this is good news for Isaia, the team that has given up the most fantasy points this year to opposing guards is Alba Berlin. But the team that's given up the second most points to opposing fantasy guards is Virtus Bologna. So I have brought in 2 Alba Berlin players for this round. First at center, my replacement is Leborgne. And I brought in at forward Trik Biborovic, who's got quite a role and is quite a good value at Fenerbahce. And then 2 Alba Berlin players. I think that Matteo Spagnolo, his role is too big for the price. There's too much value there. And if it's going to be a high-paced, high-scoring game, which is kind of what I expect out of this week's game between Virtus and Alba Berlin, he's someone to have. And then for the cheap player that we're always looking for, you give you some points off the bench. I went back to Alba with Elias Biecki. I hope that I'm pronouncing his name correctly. Whose role has also grown for Alba Berlin. They still have a couple forwards are out. He's playing well. Still 20 years old. Talented player, and I hope that he will continue to see a good role and give me some nice cheap points.
So let's go see what I did. As I said, Luka Banki is in and Adrian Terry is out. Zalgiris lost a game. They prevailed by 16 points, and I had a -10 from my coach last week, which is the worst thing that can happen in fantasy. But I also had to trade Lonnie Walker, even though he has been playing really well. I'm sorry, Frankie. I know I disappoint you. He's your go-to guy right now, but I needed the credits. But to make it better for you, I got Rokas Jukubaitis from Maccabi, who has been playing fantastically since Tamir Blatt is out. He has stepped up and he has been producing many fantasy points. So I hope he continues to do that. Sasa Vezenkov is back in action after his injury. He missed 2 games, but he played in the Greek Basket League this weekend. He had 23 points and 7 rebounds. He seems to be good to go again. So he's back on my lineup, which means Nigel Hayes Davis needs to be out because I can't afford 2 that expensive forwards. And Dario Brizuela got injured for Barcelona in the domestic league game, so I got Sergio Yul in his position on my bench. But to give Isaiah a full picture of my team, I also have Nikola Milutinov as my starting center, Filipe Trushev, TJ Shorts. For the sixth guy, I have Geoffrey Laverne, and on my bench, I have Matt Strazel, Piborizzi, and Diop from your opposing team. Sorry for that, Isaiah. They're kind of a good bench players right now. They get minutes here and there, so I have to take advantage of that.
So we've been having a running thing here on the show the last couple weeks about Lonnie Walker, who I've adopted as my now new favorite player. He's a player who came straight from the NBA, struggled his first game, then the second game a little bit better, and since then has been really solid. Can you just give us your impressions? You have not played against him. I don't know how much you've seen him play, but what is it like for a player an American player who's never played here before and has to come to adjust the European level of basketball?
I feel like the adjustment time and period, it depends on every player, you know. For sure, you need this time, but you figure it out really quickly. Being this athletic and this talented, you just have to figure out like I would say the defense coverage is still not the same compared to the NBA, and then play maybe a little slower to use your speed better. And I mean, since then he really adjusts very well and very quick. So that is a real menace, and like I would say he give even more versatility to this Zalgiris team. So yeah, I mean it's a great pickup for your fantasy, Frankie.
Thank you.
And I also want Isaiah's opinion on my centers. Like last time we had a guest here, it was Asaf Zekov, and he criticized my strategy there because I had a super expensive center and a very cheap one, which wasn't working very well. So I'm now trying to balance it. I have Nikola Milutinov who costs 15 credits now because he has been playing better and better game by game in the last 4 rounds. And I also got Laverne from Asvel, who has been doing some damage as well. How do you think about this duo?
I think it's pretty sturdy. It's pretty sturdy because he give you like you can be sure they will give you something, you know. Especially Milutinov is like I don't know really how the fantasy points work, but you will get like the points and rebound easy. So his PRI will be nice, and Lobern is playing good in this adverse system. You know, he has a good guards that can create for him, and he's a very solid player. So I feel like it's good choices in my opinion.
Okay.
But I'd say Sasha might know better about fantasy than
Sasa,
me.
he's a legend in fantasy. He plays like crazy. I can tell you that. But he didn't go your way. He said like, I never pick myself, a teammate, or a player I play against this week, like from that team. Yeah.
One of the guards that I have on my bench, I will ask you about, is a former teammate of yours who now plays for one of your team's big rivals, Nico Mannion.
I mean, no, Nico has been, he has been like working and trying to find his way. And I feel like Nico's so talented that he might needed this this system and this environment when he can show everything and all his talent. I hope he's not gonna play good against us, but I feel like he's gonna be good. He's gonna be good.
Okay, so last but not least, we have to go and look into our captain selections. So Isaiah, you mentioned before who you have as T1, but I think you have an even better choice for T2.
Yeah, I took my Georgian brother, Toko Shengelia. Yeah, I feel like he's gonna. I mean, like I said, the home games is very important, and we have two with Virtus, so I feel like he's a good choice.
Okay, Frankie.
So my captain is Theo Maledon. I expect big things out of him. He was my turn 2 captain last week, and then ended up using him, sticking with him. I hope that I won't have to look back and make a change, but if I do, it will be from round 14. For Wednesday. Wednesday with Philip Trusev, who has also been just red hot, and that's the guy I'll bring it off the bench if I need to.
Okay, nice. I like it. We'll go with TJ Shorts for T1. And if something goes sideways, I'll have Sasa Vezenkov, of course. Who better to have as your captain? Before he got injured, he was the most bought player in fantasy, the most popular one. I think he has been having an amazing season, both him and TJ, of course. So I think I'm covered with the captains this week.
All right, and I guess before we wrap it up, Isaiah, let's give you the floor. Anything that you want to share with our fans? Tell them about yourself or about the league or what we can expect next.
I mean, it was it's cool. It's cool. It was cool playing my very first fantasy. I kind of discovered the game. Not as easy as it looks, obviously, and you guys enjoy, and keep picking me because I'm a pretty decent basketball player.
I have to reveal something. You had 2 great games at the beginning of the season, round 1 and round 2. So in round 3, I said I would get Isaiah, and then not so well of a game. I came to for round 4, not so well of a game. So maybe I was the reason you didn't play so well in those 2 games. I'm sorry for that if I jinxed you.
All good.
Thanks to Isaiah. Thanks for all the fans for joining us. Don't forget this week, it's a double round week. So there's 2 exciting rivalry series games of the week. Wednesday, we have the new head coach at Monaco, Vanulis, taking on his former team Olympiacos. And then on Thursday, Real Madrid against Fenerbahce. 2 games you do not want to miss. Catch them live on EuroLeague TV. And then remember, like, subscribe, tell your friends about the podcast, and we will be here next week to talk about how well we did, how well Isaiah did, and to look ahead to round 15.